Mr. Sunshine here, the most distinguished man in Seoul. We're here at the House of Representatives speaking with our local state representatives as well as our local senators. We're going to talk to them about energy issues, solar power, and protecting the environment. I want you to go ahead and get in contact with your representative, let them know to support the issues that you'll find on our social media page here as well as on our Facebook page. So go forth and spread some sunshine.
The support of many Floridians in this ban fracking. We are with Floridians Against Fracking. There are 59 organizations working for this ban of fracking. We have passed 90 resolutions across the state, and 77% of Floridians live on these places where these resolutions has been passed.
And you said House Bill 587 and Senate Bill 200?
House Bill 547
where are you from?
and Senate Bill 200.
So House Bill 47?
And Crystal, you want to go ahead and explain to her about the resiliency?
Yes, I'm here about Senate Bill 1232 and House Bill 913 about starting a resilience research program. As I stated, I'm from Fort Myers, and I have been doing a lot of efforts as far as resiliency within my community, trying to make sure we can survive a natural disaster. I also started a resilience volunteer youth corps. I'm hoping that they will pass this bill so that we can get some support within the community, where they will be willing to support our churches that are on the ground and able to do these things, but they need some support.
All right. And Rachel, you want to talk to her about?
I'm here asking for Mr. Rodriguez's support for House Bill 513 and Senate Bill 882, which is heat illness prevention. Where we're from, Southwest Florida, we have a large migrant farm worker population, like in Apalachee, Florida. Every year, we're having record-breaking heat temperatures in the summer, and heat-related illnesses are on the rise. So it's a really important thing to put into place. It also is very similar to another bill that's working its way through, which would be Senate Bill 1696 and House Bill 7011, which is the heat stress illness prevention bill for student athletes. So it's very similar to that, which would just require access to shade, water, rest, things like that. So it's a really important bill, and I hope you'll support it.
Okay. And then, do you know, so the peace ban on fracking, how is that moving in the House and the Senate? Is it moving?
That's what we want. We want it to move, but it is. I mean, we don't know yet. But this bill, the important thing that I forgot to tell you is that includes two techniques that are more used in here because of the geology of Florida, which is advanced well stimulation treatment, matrix oxidizing, and hydraulic fraction.
Okay.
And I don't believe that 547 is set for a reading just yet, but it's one that we want to get moving forward on.
Okay.
Specifically.
All right, and then the resilience research program, is that one moving? Do you know?
We're hoping that it will move.
Okay. I can check on those.
Yes.
I just didn't know if you guys. And then I know 7011 is moving, because that was heard recently in committees.
Right.
And then how about 513?
513, that one actually needs co-sponsorship and support, so yeah, it would be great if you would co-sponsor.
Yeah, particularly with 513, it's very simple. It's not something that's contentious to go through. A co-sponsorship would be great on that. I know you can't speak for the representative, but it's just establishing a basic standard. My day job is actually solar power. All right, so I know when the company and my teams I work with, we always have water on hand. We let the guys take rests as needed, and we specifically educate them on that. But that's not a standard in everything. Right. Particularly when you talk about field workers, picking strawberries, tomatoes. Which I don't think we grow strawberries out here, but nonetheless, then we do have tomatoes, and in those cases where they're just kind of out there and dropped off and left, ensuring that.
And it seems like a common place of confusion is that, like, doesn't OSHA already provide for this? They don't have any specific policies or regulations or standards put into place. They have like a list of recommendations, but it's not, this would, you know, give more protection to the Florida workers, yeah.
And then there's a couple of renewable energy bills I wanted to just express our interest on. The first one is HB 97.
Okay.
And the HB 97 establishes a renewable energy standards, right? And renewable energy portfolio standards and renewable energy credits. So we can actually, you know, Florida has, outside of the tax exemption, nothing established. It really puts us in the game, because this is the trend that we see across everything. I'm particularly concerned about it. My background is in aerospace engineering, so defense. Now, when you look at, not that America will be attacked or anything like that, but when you look at it from a defense standpoint, having a centralized power system is, you know, vulnerable. Whereas when we have distributed power through it, which would, these renewable energy credits and portfolio standards will expand distributed power, it allows us to maintain our energy and therefore further security and defend the nation. So from that aspect, I think it's something that the representative can consider.
Okay.
And then there's HB 395. Currently, solar is looked at as an additional, and when schools do fund appropriations, they do it by number of students. Solar power would end up replacing funds that would be used for books, technology, or other more critical advancements. Whereas if this was considered outside as a building improvements and maintenance, with these policies removed, it could be better utilized, again, protecting for defense, as well as lowering costs, therefore making more funds available in the long term for the buildings. And the final one is HB 1419.
1419?
Yes.
Okay.
And that one moves forward on establishing clean energy as a standard throughout the state and puts us on a path to go 100% renewable energy by 2050. All right, and again, it's the trend. We know better as far as technology goes, so we should be doing better. There's no reason to continue forth with natural gas plants that are expensive, and we can see right now there's actually a supply glut on the market and it's forcing natural gas prices down, which sounds good in the short term, but the reason that you have that going down is because you have more buildings and more businesses and more homes moving towards renewable energy. So rather than continuing to focus on old technology, we can begin to phase it out, lower our demand, and actually put that on the open market, rather than trying to use it domestically. And therefore we have more funds available and more trade power because of what we can provide for other developing countries.
Could I ask you your position into the extent that you can answer the position of the representative in all these bills? For example, in the transitional to renewable energy bills that he just mentioned, clean energy bills, as well as solar. Do you know his position?
I do not know his position. That's not something I can also really speak on behalf for him.
How about the fracking bills?
It would be for all of those.
But
Yeah.
has he mentioned anything like, you know what, I wish they had this one bill that said this, and we could go ahead and say, yeah, we'd like to take that and make changes to
Him and
it?
I have not had that conversation.
Oh, okay,
No.
gotcha.
All of the conversations him and I have is HHS now. He's having conversations with other people. I'm not quite sure. So that part I'm just not really. I don't really know where he stands on that.
Okay.
So.
Any of environmental priorities he might have in his bill?
Well, definitely water, because water's big down in our area. So he's paying attention to all the water quality bills and
712.
appropriations and all of that. So water for him is a big thing, especially from, what our area was impacted by just last year and everything. And a few years prior to that, it's always been an issue. And our water is a big part of our tourism industry down there.
Great.
If our beaches aren't nice, people aren't going to want to come vacation down there, and a lot of our businesses rely on that. So he has
SB 712 that he supported.
which one's 7?
SB 712 is the one that kind of like,
It's a Senate bill, he's in the House.
but he can vote on it not too.
I'll have to. Yeah, no. He won't vote on the Senate bill. I'll have to look at the House companion bill for that.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure which one that is. I'd have to look it up.
That's the one that gathered all the recommendations from the task force.
I'll have to ask him about that. He's probably definitely looked at that, so I'll just have to ask him on that, because I'm not quite sure. But in our area, he's taken that as one of his main priorities coming up. I mean, last session it was a big one for our delegation, and then this session as well. So you're going to see a lot of that, and hopefully our funding continues to come through, especially with Everglades restoration and everything. Some good impacts just from having that funding for ever since Governor DeSantis gave it to us a short time, we've seen some positive impacts. So hopefully we see that, and funding continues to come, and yeah, hopefully we can prevent a little bit of what happened in the past. So.
It's not going to happen overnight, we understand.
No, yep.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time, but they're putting the right steps forward to hopefully continuing some great progress with that. So.
One thing I'd like to finish with,
yeah.
You know, when you focus on renewable energy, it protects the water. Because when you talk about natural gas, it uses large amounts of water, you know, just for cooling and operations. And then it's also, they want to do fracking in the Everglades. Right? Rather than fracking, we can actually build a solar economy based off of the number of jobs and that solar can bring in with the support through bills like this, where people can get real living wages. I mean, an average solar person gets about $23 an hour. To be middle class, you need to be about $22 an hour. And this really bolsters up the local community, provides more jobs than what a small fracking, even a large fracking field could provide, because solar is more distributed and can go throughout. So it can bring in further jobs in the area. From the area of resiliency, particularly when we look at renewable energy, it's going to, when we look at the resiliency plan and the water, being prepared for, you know, the boiling water situations and emergency packs, that resiliency program ensures that people are ready for it. Plus, which Crystal is seeing just in our small community is a microcosm throughout the state. All right, and going into the heat stress, you know, just making sure that we're doing this in a responsible way. Because should we get representative support on these things and these bills move forward, we're going to need to make sure that people are protected throughout. All right, so that just helps for better establishment and better standards within the field. So all these bills truly do end up helping water in the long run, plus saves money and increases profits for the businesses and the community throughout the area.
Saves lives.
Saves lives.
And fracking, you know, compromise the water quality of our state if we continue doing, because there's the risk of leaks and accidents that we have seen already happening.
Yeah, and a leak in solar is just a sunny day.
That's good.
Any other questions for us?
Not right now. I have my notes, and then if you guys just have some business cards, because he'll review all this.
Absolutely.
And then if he has any questions, he's one to usually reach out. So he definitely likes to look over all of this.
Yeah, and I'll be here next week with the Everglades Coalition.
All you're in Lee County. So we have 2,500 members in our area, and I'm here on behalf of them as well. It's not just me in my personal capacity. So there's a lot of weight behind what we'd love to see and have his support on.
Okay.
Do you have a card too?
Yes, I can grab those.
All right.
All right.
Perfect. Thank you, Chrissy. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
you coming in so early
Of
on
course.
us. I know we've gone back and forth trying to set something up and work in the afternoon.
Oh yeah,
Schedule
it's
thing.
okay. Just this week his schedule is like just ridiculously busy. So
Yeah, everything is
and
moving
towards
so
the
fast.
later half of the week, that's when all his committees meet and everything. So it was
Yes,
it was
well,
a fun time scheduling.
we
Thank you for
appreciate
taking the
sitting
time
down with
for
us.
being
If he helps get
with
this
us.
resiliency program started, we can take some of that pressure off. We can take care of some things on our own.
That's right.
Ancient Mother, I hear your calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I feel your laughter. Ancient Mother, I taste your tears. Ancient Mother, I hear your calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I feel your laughter. Ancient Mother, I taste your tears. Ancient Mother, I hear your calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I feel your laughter. Ancient Mother, I taste your tears. Ancient Mother, I hear your calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I feel your laughter. Ancient Mother, I taste your tears. Now the next one is a little bit more realistic chant. It goes, there are more waters rising. This I know, this I know. There are more waters rising. This I know. There are more waters rising. They will find their way to me. There are more waters rising. This I know. Okay? So we're going to do that with, there are more fires burning. And then there are more mountains falling. Then the second part of the chant goes, I will wade through the waters. This I know, this I know. I will wade through the waters. This I know. I will wade through the waters. When they find their way to me, I will wade through the waters. This I know. And then I will walk through the fires, and I will rebuild the mountains. Okay? Very inspirational chant. Very powerful. Okay? Give me the first note. There are more waters rising, yes I know, yes I know. There are more waters rising, yes I know. There are more waters rising, they will find their way to me. There are more waters rising, yes I know, yes I know. There are more waters rising, yes I know. Fires burning. There are more fires burning, this I know, this I know. There are more fires burning, this I know. There are more fires burning, they will find their way to me. There are more fires burning, this I know, this I know. There are more fires burning, this I know. There are more mountains falling, this I know, this I know. There are more mountains falling, this I know. There are more mountains falling, they will find their way to me. There are more mountains falling, this I know, this I know. There are more mountains falling, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. There are more waters rising, they will find their way to me. There are more waters rising, this I know. For each soul, for the children of our children. You think we're going to have a planet for the children of our children? Together, circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us in prison, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children and of our children. Keep the circle whole. Okay? Circle some of you have never heard these songs, right? And you learn the words and you sang. Because you have that clarity, right? To accept love, to accept understanding, to accept what we need to do. Imagine if you have that clarity to pass to our politicians, right? The people who, in many strange ways, are leading us, right? And they're not in tune with the world. That's what we need to be doing. So I hope that you have that clarity to pass along, okay? And believe in yourself, you can do it.
Right, thank you. All right, thank you to Angel and Michael, Jan. Thank you all. You are beautiful and your voices are beautiful. And thank you to everybody for being patient as we figure out how to handle the fact that there's kind of a weird tropical storm thing happening here. I don't know.
It's the earth.
It's the earth. Woo! The earth is with us.
Less and less
So,
here, but it's becoming very common.
So, my name is Kim Ross, and I'm the Executive Director of ReThink Energy Florida. And thank you to everyone for coming out here today. We really appreciate you being here. We have over 150 people that are here that are going to be going out and talking to their legislators. We will be talking to every single office today. So I am really proud of everybody who came up from on all the buses and everybody who came out through the storms. We have more people actually even on their way, and we have people that are out speaking to the legislators right now. So we have 3 speakers for you today, and our first speaker is Miami-Dade County Commissioner Daniela Levine-Cava. We're very pleased to have her here. Since her historic victory in 2014, County Commissioner Levine-Cava has put her experience and passion to work as a powerful voice on the County Commission for a range of quality of life, accountability, economic and environmental concerns. Her leadership on protecting our environment has earned her the title of Water Warrior. And I can tell you she's worked on a fracking ban. She helped, or she actually took the lead on passing one of the first fracking bans in the county of Miami-Dade. She has done a lot of work around energy efficiency and around renewable energy. And we're just super excited to have this champion here from Miami-Dade County, County Commissioner Levine-Cava.
Thank you so much, Kim. Let's start with fracking. No fracking way. Y'all heard that, right? No fracking way. So yes, I'm back in Tallahassee. We've got to come from all over the state. Let them know that we need clean energy, clean water, clean air. 2020 is the year we're going to make change, right everybody? The year of change. So I've been coming up to Tallahassee for, let's see, since my baby was born. She's now 33. I got 2 grandbabies, so figure that one out. So 33 years I've been coming to Tallahassee, and let me say to you, coming to Tallahassee, they make it tough, but it means the world, because it is government by the people, for the people, of the people. You are the people, right? And if they put Tallahassee in some difficult place to get to, you are going to push through storm. You're going to get here because the legislators need to hear from you. And for those of you who love the planet, and we heard you chanting about your love for the planet and your love for this beautiful state, it is your voices that will turn the tide. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I just want to say, as a baby lawyer, I was coming to Tallahassee. I learned to lobby from the League of Women Voters. All right? Yes. And what is just, this is not on topic, 100 years of women's right to vote. All right, ladies, and all the gentlemen who know what a difference that has made. So let's make sure this is the year that women are going to get it done. All right, ladies and gentlemen who support the ladies. So in Miami-Dade County, we are ground zero for climate change. We've known that for a while. All right, and we're at the tip, but the rest of the, as goes Miami, so goes Florida, right? So all of us, we're in this together. And in Miami-Dade County, I'm happy to say, it's a bipartisan effort to deal with our environment. And we did ban fracking in Miami-Dade County a couple of years ago. So, and we came up here every year, ban it statewide, ban it. So we're disappointed this year, it's not moving forward. We need to make sure that fracking is not good for our planet. It is not good for our state. It is not good for our environment. So let's keep on fighting that fracking. But to say bipartisanship is critical on the environment. No party, no group owns stewardship of our environment. And that is why I'm so proud in Miami-Dade County that we voted together for the environment. And I have been fighting for more power of the sun, solar, like what's with that? Aren't we the solar state? Should we not be leading on solar? Yes, we should be leading the world on solar, not just Miami and not just Florida. And thank you. We also need to lead the world on clean water. We've got challenges, ladies and gentlemen. Water is polluting our fresh drinking water. Everglades needs to be cleaned to restore our natural environment. And 1/3 of all Floridians count on the Everglades for their drinking water supply. The Everglades is not healthy. The Everglades is hanging in the balance by a thread. So we've been fighting for Everglades. We've been fighting for our coasts. We've got blue-green algae. We've got red tide. That comes from problems with our water. Water is our life. We need to fight together. And our air and our carbon, right? We should be leading on carbon reduction in Miami-Dade County. Again, we've got the sun, so there's no excuse. And by the way, buildings are some of the biggest polluters. Did you all know that? Right here, the buildings, the hot water, the air conditioning, this uses a tremendous amount of energy. So we need to be working on that. So let's talk about some of the things that are going on right now. We've got a bill that we want to thank Senator Berman for leading the way, that will allow our schools to go solar. Yes, our children, we are doing it for our children, and our children, you know what, they get it. The children get it. In Miami-Dade County, we have a program, Dream and Green, where the children actually identify energy savings in the schools. And guess what? They get to keep those savings. And that's what this bill will do, allow our schools to keep their savings. So we need to do that. And let's say kudos to Senator Berman. Let's give her a shout out. Reduce our use of carbon energy overall. And we have ambitious goals that have been set. We've got to thank our Rep. Escamani and our Senator Jose Javier Rodriguez. We love you. You're doing a great job leading the way. We've got to reduce our reliance on carbon. We've got to go 100% by 2050. Yes. We can do it. Other cities have adopted this, other counties. We can do this right here in Florida. We've got what it takes. You wouldn't know it from today, but it's sunny in Florida. We need that rain, we need that rain. Okay. And so I have been fighting for the 5 years that I've been on the commission for all the things that we just talked about, and I'm proud of what we've done. But we must be vigilant. No to building roads in the Everglades. All right. All right. Yes to putting solar, not just on schools, but on county buildings. We have to fight for that too. All the infrastructure, all of those places. We're even putting solar on lakes now. Okay, but we got to protect those fish, right? We can't clog up the whole lake, but there are ways to do it that are good. So I'm going to be meeting with the first ever State Resilience Officer, Julia Neshawat, later today. Yeah, we've got a governor who lets us talk about these things. Hey, let's celebrate that. Okay? Because, you know, last year, oh no. So we gotta be proud that now it's not a dirty word, it's reality. We gotta talk about what's real here. So you keep walking, you keep talking, you keep fighting, you keep demanding, you keep shouting, you keep singing. We will get it done. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your attention. I'll keep fighting, walking, talking, shouting, singing. Thank you so much.
All right, let's hear it for Commissioner Danielle Rubincava. She's making change, she's gonna keep making change. Thank you. All right, so our next speaker is Gary Musso. I hope I got your name right there, Gary. And Gary has been a registered nurse for 39 years. He is currently a registered nurse in Port Charlotte, Florida. He's a lifelong activist fighting for healthcare, economic justice, immigration, and climate justice. So let's welcome Gary.
Thank you, Kim, and it's great to see everyone here this morning. I'm here with my fellow nurse from Port Charlotte, Cynthia Butler. We're members of the National Nurses Union, also called the National Nurses Organizing Committee, and we care about health. We care about you, and our state especially. Our union has a very powerful and very active environmental justice committee, and I'd like to touch briefly on some of the bills that are here in these houses being considered, hopefully getting closer and closer to passing. By the way, NNU is the largest nurses union in the country. We represent 200,000 registered nurses, which, by the way, for the 18th straight year has been voted as the most trusted profession. So hurry up, we need more of you. Come on, join us, be a registered nurse. We understand that our planet is sick. We see the many signs and symptoms everywhere, and we just heard about some of them in Miami-Dade. Here in Florida, we're experiencing stronger and more frequent hurricanes, some of the highest heat-related illnesses in the country, and numerous sunny day flooding events. And the Miami Herald wrote that by 2045, nearly 64,000 homes in Florida will face flooding every other week. And by 2100, that number could increase to 1 million homes flooding every other week. It's time for our Florida lawmakers to provide our state with the needed medication legislation to ensure that our planet is protected for future generations. We're calling on all of our lawmakers to ban fracking in our beautiful and ecologically fragile state. This should be an easy vote. In Florida, we don't yet suffer the ill effects of fracking as other U.S. states are experiencing. The vote to ban fracking would continue to protect our state from these deleterious effects. Another simple preventative remedy would be to create a statewide resiliency office and board. We know Florida will be one of the states most impacted by climate change and sea level rise. As we just heard, Miami is already spending $500 million a year dealing with saltwater intrusion into their streets. Our committee leader just told us all about it. Another issue we're concerned about in our Environmental Justice Committee is Florida is hot. It's getting hotter. In 2016, there were more than 1,100 patients with heat-related illnesses sent to the hospital throughout Florida. That's a 4-year-old statistic. It's getting worse. The House bills related to this issue, House Bill 513 and Senate Bill 882, are simple solutions. These bills would give outside workers access to water, rest, and shade to help prevent these heat-related illnesses. Lastly, adding solar panels to schools, we just heard about that, can save the state approximately $70 million a year and provide 10% of the school's energy from a clean source. Now is the time for lawmakers to act. So here, us environmentally active citizens of the state of Florida, now is the time to make sure our planet and state are protected. We demand our lawmakers do the right thing and pass all these important laws that are supported by the Reclaiming Florida's Future for All Committee and the NNU's Environmental Justice Committee. Thank you all for your time.
All right, thank you, the rally is Bahali Frank. Bahali is a 17-year-old from Big Cypress Reservation. 2 years ago, as a high school freshman, Bahali became the 8th youth plaintiff in the Florida climate change court case, Reynolds versus State of Florida. She's spoken out about climate at local rallies in Fort Lauderdale and Miami, as well as the United Nations 25th Annual Conference of Parties and the 15th Annual Conference of Youth. So let's welcome Bahali.
The Florida Constitution prohibits our government from harming us. Our state constitution spells out that we have the right to life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness. And we, the plaintiffs of the Reynolds v. Florida case, believe that the Constitution gives us the right to a stable climate system capable of sustaining life, because that is the foundation of our lives and liberties. Unfortunately, in Florida, our government has created an energy system that is harming us, the constitutional rights of the children, as well as harming the children themselves. Having an energy system based on fossil fuels is detrimental to all Floridians because it emits dangerous levels of carbon pollution. Florida generates the second highest amount of CO2 emissions from electricity in the nation. Florida is ranked third in the nation in both total energy consumption and electric energy consumption. Energy systems don't just happen. Our state government officials have and are creating Florida's energy system. That's why we believe that the government isn't doing their job. Many young people like myself and the other plaintiffs in the lawsuit are experiencing harm from these actions. But the government is being unfair to all of us, but especially the young people who may not even be able to vote yet and may have little to say about the actions the government officials take. The government has a responsibility to protect us, not harm us. Yet the scientists are telling us that parts of Florida are vanishing because of sea level rise and flooding. The government has a responsibility to protect us so we can live our lives in the places we were growing up, like previous generations of Floridians have been able to do. These are our fundamental rights as citizens. As a member of the Seminole Tribe of Florida, I feel this deeply. We are at risk of losing our cultural identity as the Everglades disappears. We are at risk of the heat being so overwhelming that going outside in the summer is considered dangerous by our own doctors. And we are at risk when we can't grow crops because of saltwater intrusion. Climate change is threatening our way of life. The government is violating my constitutional rights, and that's why we are in the courts, to make them do their job and to stop them from continuing to harm us. The Constitution says we have a right to life, liberty, and property, so the government must provide us with energy with that in mind. We need the government to have our best interests in mind rather than the profits of the companies who make the money polluting. Those companies who profit off the pollution from oil and gas products have been innocently deceiving the public about climate science and the harm their products cause for many decades. It must end here and now. The Florida government officials need to fix this crisis at scale and line with the scope of the problem. They need to revamp Florida's energy system so we may live our lives with a stable climate system and avoid the impacts of the climate crisis that we are already seeing. Everything we value as Floridians is at stake. I grew up on the Big Cypress Reservation, and I grew up with an environmentalist mom and a forester dad. I was constantly taught about the climate crisis, and I've been involved in activism since the age of 3. A few years ago, I joined this lawsuit because I know that my constitutional rights are being threatened by climate change and the effects of it. It's horrifying to see my culture and my identity and my people see their lives threatened too. It's terrifying to see my friends just being able to look over this problem. Because it's not just another issue, it's not a side topic, it is a primary issue in today's politics, in today's government, and in our daily lives. And it's baffling to me that people still deny climate change. When I was at COP25 in 2015, many Europeans and people from all over the world would come up to me and they'd be shocked that people here didn't believe something that was a basic fact. It's so easy to just gloss over things because you're afraid of it or because you're getting money from doing that. But we're here to say that that must stop. And I'm so proud of all of you for being here and loving today alongside. And I really hope we do make a positive impact today. Thank you.
for speaking from the heart too. That was beautiful. Thank you. Okay, you guys. So I'm actually gonna very, very shortly bring up Brooke Arrett from Food and Water Action, and we're gonna do an action for media and for the cameras. Before we do, I just want to say thank you to you all once again. You all traveled up. You all came out in the storm. You all came out, and really, you know, it's you all that make a difference. The fact that you're here, right? The fact that you took time out of your day, out of your school day, out of your work days, you probably took time off of work. Y'all came up because you care about this, and you want these guys to care about this, and gals. So thank you. And I want to say thank you also to all the organizations, but there's too many organizations to name, so I'm not going to name them all. But you know, there were a lot of people that put this together. I am going to call out Nikki Clifton over here. Once again, she has been my right-hand person. She's been a lot of it, Bree also. I think Bree might still be out getting more printing and that kind of stuff done. But those two in particular, and Non-Shen, the three of them have been just like there, working 15-hour days this week. They have really been there helping to make this come together. So thank you to everybody that made this come together. We're going to get started with an action, and then we're going to go talk to our legislators all day. We've got other events. Make sure you check out your schedules. And without further ado, I'm going to bring up Brooke Arrett of Food and Water Action, and also our Floridians Against Fracking Coalition statewide coordinator.
Thank you. Good morning, Reclaiming Florida's Future. Are you guys ready for a great day of lobbying? Fantastic. Well, we're going to kick this day off, for those who haven't been at a meeting yet, with an amazing action to the great governor of our state to call him out on the ban on fracking. Now, like Kim said, my name is Brooke Arrett. I'm the statewide coordinator for Floridians Against Fracking, and I am also an organizer with Food and Water Action, Food and Water Watch. Now, has anyone out there not received one of these? Could someone pass these out to the crowd who has not received these? Now, what this is, here's a giant one. This is a giant promissory note. Now, in 2018, while on the campaign trail, Ron DeSantis campaigned on a platform to ban fracking on day one of his administration. Well, we're coming up on almost 400 days of his administration, and is fracking banned? I said, is fracking banned? Well, we're here to collect on that promise, because it is way past due. So what everyone should have in their hand is a smaller version of this. Sign your name, because you are one of those promisees. Put your city so that they know that the entire state is represented. I want to let everyone know who didn't hear last night that we have collected nearly 1,000 of these promissory notes from around the state. And so what we're going to do now is we are going to deliver these to the governor's office. Now, some logistics. If you have a legislative meeting right now, please go to that instead. However, if you don't have a meeting until 11 o'clock or after, grab one of these, grab a stack if you brought a stack with you from your region, and follow me into the office. We're going to walk straight across the hallway, avoiding the other media event that's going on. I will go in, I will announce why you're there. If everyone can line up behind me, and then one at a time, after we've made this delivery, go in, say who you are, where you're from, and that you want the governor to ban fracking, and drop it on the desk. Can everyone do that? Okay, let's make this happen.
chambers where they're going to actually talk about legislation. We hope that they'll actually believe in the legislation that we're here lobbying them on, and that way we can see more sunshine in the Sunshine State, plus better resiliency for the local citizens. Be sure to get in contact with your state senator and your representative as well to make sure they're in support of these bills. Now, I want all you to go forth and spread some sunshine.